The FCC is set to vote on net neutrality rules that could have major implications for the internet and how it's regulated. Now, this is something that could eventually affect consumers. It's also something that could be bad or good for certain companies. Joining us now to talk about all of this and specifically what net neutrality actually is CNET senior writer Maggie Reardon. Maggie, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so before we even get into what the FCC is voting on today and what the implications are, real quick, real briefly, what exactly are we talking about when we use the term net neutrality?
Right. Net neutrality is a concept that all traffic on the internet is treated equally. So that means that your broadband provider, whether it's a wired broadband provider or a wireless provider, can't block or slow down traffic. It also means that that provider can't charge companies like Netflix an extra fee for priority access, so that all entrepreneurs and anybody who wants to start a company online has equal access to everyone on the internet.
And so when we talk about the FCC voting on new proposed rules today, what exactly does this mean for consumers? What are these rules?
Well, these rules basically will prevent blocking or slowing down of traffic. Like I said, there will be no priority lane. And the big change here is a legal one. It's going to reclassify broadband as a utility. And that's something that has got Republicans and broadband providers really riled up.
Certainly. And what companies stand to benefit from the FCC vote against net neutrality? What companies would stand to benefit from the FCC vote in terms of upholding net neutrality and putting these new rules in place versus maybe seeing these rules voted down? Who wins,
well, everyone really benefits, right? Because the internet has always worked on this concept of openness, and these rules really keep that openness going. So that means that, you know, a kid in a college dorm room can sit around and make a website, and it can become Facebook, right? They have access to the internet, and so it's just going to keep the internet open. So everybody benefits: small entrepreneurs, bigger companies. You know, I think the real question here is how it's going to affect broadband companies like a Verizon or a Comcast. They say that this Title II switch is really going to be a disincentive for them to invest in their networks. It could lead to higher taxes and fees for consumers. So they think that that's all bad, and they say this is the worst thing that's ever happened to them.
Yeah, and certainly just going along those lines, the father of net neutrality, the man who actually coined the term over a decade ago, Tim Wu, actually said that this won't affect broadband innovation, but that it could have an effect on startup innovation, meaning that net neutrality is the thing that, as you mentioned, brings a company like Facebook to the world and other future tech startups. What do you expect will be the outcome of today's vote? Well,
it's a 5-person commission, and there are 3 Democrats and 2 Republicans. So it's almost 100% slam dunk that it's going to pass today, because you've got President Obama who's really pushing this, and Chairman Wheeler, and I'm pretty sure the 2 other Democrats are going to go along with it. So the measure will pass. And Republicans had already been working in Congress to pass legislation or to work on legislation that would basically make these rules law, but would strip the FCC of its authority. And that has largely gone by the wayside. It seems like the Republicans aren't pushing it. They realize they don't have enough votes to counter a veto from the president. So, but there are going to be lawsuits after this for sure. The broadband companies are not going to sit by and let this happen, and it's just a matter of when those lawsuits are going to be filed.
So even though we're seeing the FCC vote on these rules and most definitely putting those rules into place, this is in a lot of ways really just the start of a much larger battle, a legal battle.
Well, it's an ongoing battle. This has been going on for over a decade, and I don't see it ending anytime soon.
Maggie Reardon, great to speak to you. Thanks for breaking all of this down. You mentioned it before, it's a wonky topic, but you really put it into palatable bites. We really appreciate you coming on. Thank you for watching. I'm Morgan Brennan. Have a great day.
Hey YouTube fans, I'm Landon Dowdy from CNBC. Thank you so much for checking out our channel. You can subscribe by clicking right here to check out the latest Mad Money CEO interviews, market news, financial advice, and product unboxing. Enjoy!